Hey, what's up everyone? John here from TestPrepInsight.com, and today I'm going to be directly comparing Rocket Languages and Rosetta Stone. I've tested both of these programs, and now it's time to tell you which one is better. So if you're ready, let's get to it. Okay, welcome back. Let's get right into it. I should mention up front here that since I'll just be focusing on the major pros and cons in this video, if you find you need more detail at any point, you can always check out our full detailed written comparison on our website. An easy way to get there is just to Google Test Prep Insight, Rocket Languages versus Rosetta Stone. Alright, first up here, let's cover pricing and affordability. Both companies offer multiple packages. Starting with Rosetta Stone, they offer 3 different options: a 3-month, 12-month, and lifetime subscription. The 3 and 12-month plans include access to only one language, whereas the lifetime plan grants you access to all 25 Rosetta Stone languages. The 3-month plan costs around $36, the 12-month plan goes for around $96, and the lifetime option costs around $180 total. Rocket Languages, on the other hand, takes a slightly different approach. Instead of offering monthly subscriptions, all of their plans are lifetime and range from $150 to $450, depending on how many levels you want to purchase. And just so you know, these prices are a little deceiving since they're just the MSRPs. Rocket Languages is almost always running some sort of deal or special promotion, and in most cases you can expect to receive at least $50 off, if not more. So be sure to check out the description below for coupon codes. I'll drop any current discounts that I can find down there for you. Still, from an overall cost perspective, Rosetta Stone gets the win. They are clearly the more affordable option. Though I should just mention that both companies do offer free trials and money-back guarantees, so you can always test out the waters before fully committing. And by the way, we work really hard to produce honest and helpful content, all totally free, so if Rocket Languages or Rosetta Stone end up being the right choice for you, we'd really appreciate it if you would use those links listed down below in the description. That's how you can support us and keep our channel going. And if you find that neither Rocket or Rosetta is a great fit, it's no problem. It doesn't matter to me what language learning program you purchase. We have a ton of other helpful reviews and comparisons that you can check out. Okay, next up, let's talk about the structure and format of each company's lessons. That way you can start to get an idea of how these two companies really differ. And let's start with Rocket. Their program is comprised of 2 different types of lessons. There's interactive audio lessons and then language and culture lessons. With the interactive audio lessons, a moderator speaking in English walks you through a native conversation in your target language step by step. The moderator will start by explaining what the goal of the lesson is, covering why you're learning it, and then set the stage for the upcoming situation and conversation. Then you'll dive into the actual conversation where you listen to native speakers converse. And every few sentences, the moderator will stop to explain what you just heard, provide pronunciation tips, grammar explanations, and, maybe most importantly, ask you questions and have you engage and participate in the conversation. So essentially, think of these interactive audio lessons as guided native conversations. And then the language and culture lessons are sort of like interactive textbooks. You'll read a paragraph explanation containing grammar rules and cultural insights, engage with a few examples to ensure you understand, and then rinse and repeat. And then to finish out each lesson, you then review what you just learned in the audio and language lessons through several short reinforcement exercises. This includes variations of flashcards, speaking drills, writing drills, and quizzes. Rosetta Stone's lessons, on the other hand, are slightly different. Each lesson contains one core 30-minute learning module and then 3 to 15 supplemental drills that cover pronunciation, listening, grammar, reading, and writing. But when you really boil it down, the Rosetta Stone lessons and drills are essentially a combination of images and audio. You're going to spend most of your time listening to a word or phrase, repeating that word or phrase, and then matching it up to a corresponding image. Think of the lessons and drills as variations of interactive flashcards, if you will. For example, let's say you're learning Spanish. You listen to a native speaker who says, "El niño lee," and then you'll click an image of a little boy reading a book to match the two up. The whole idea here is that you have to rely on visual cues, intuition, and inference as you slowly acquire the language content necessary to move on to the next lesson or unit. You'll start with 1 or 2 word building blocks and advance to longer, more grammatically complex sentences as you reach the higher levels. So, from a high level, that's how the lessons from both companies compare. The key takeaway here is that the Rosetta Stone lessons are extremely image-heavy. They're light when it comes to English translations and directions, and instead primarily rely on visual cues and inference, whereas the Rocket lessons place a much stronger emphasis on listening and speaking in the context of actual native conversations, and they make grammar and local culture much more of a priority. And by the way, if you want to see some examples of these lessons or drills from both companies, be sure to check out our full written comparison. I'll have it linked down below in the description for you. I have screenshots and examples over there so you can get a better feel for what to expect. Okay, so now that you have an idea of how Rosetta Stone and Rocket compare in terms of pricing and lesson format, let's get into the major pros and cons that I took away after testing each program. But before I get to that, I should also mention that every single month here at Test Prep Insight, we give away a free language learning course to one lucky person. It's super simple to enter. Everyone is eligible. I'll put all the details down below in the description. It'll take you less than 10 seconds, and hey, you never know. You could win a free subscription to Rosetta Stone or Rocket Languages. Alright, so let's start with Rocket Languages. Pro number one has to be their interactive audio lessons. So instead of just listening or reading to an individual word or phrase and then repeating it like you do with Rosetta Stone most of the time, the Rocket audio lessons prompt you to say words and phrases and respond to actual native speakers in the context of real conversations. You're actively involved in tracking the conversation, and the moderator of the audio lessons keeps you on your toes since you need to understand what's going on in the situation and respond at the proper times. In my opinion, this active participation is powerful at getting you to recall and use the language under pressure, just as you would in real-life situations. And that's the key point here. The Rocket language audio lessons simulate real-world experience, which really, at the end of the day, is about the best setting for truly learning a new language, as opposed to just listening to words and phrases and repeating them in a vacuum. So Rocket definitely has the leg up over Rosetta Stone in that regard. Alright, pro number two. Because roughly half the Rocket Spanish lessons are audio-based, I like that you can complete these lessons while you're exercising, gardening, taking your dog for a walk, whatever. It's just nice that you don't have to be glued to your computer or phone at all times like you do with Rosetta Stone. I think I can speak for most people out there when I say sometimes you just need a break or a change of scenery when studying. So overall, I have to give props to Rocket for how flexible their lessons are. Alright, pro number three. I like that the Rocket language programs make cultural insights and grammar instruction a priority, which is really something I can't say about Rosetta Stone. And the nice thing here is that the Rocket courses accomplish this in multiple ways. First, as you complete the interactive audio lessons, the moderator routinely stops to touch on different grammar principles and verbally explain the why behind them. And then of course, the bulk of the grammar instruction is delivered through the company's language and culture lessons, which sort of take the form of a digital textbook. But just to be clear, I'm not talking about a long, dense textbook like you're used to from high school or college. Rocket does a great job of breaking these lessons down into short, digestible chunks. Each section within the lesson is only about 3 to 6 sentences long on average, and within the lesson, there are dozens of stoppage points where you can interact with examples and pictures to keep you engaged. So really, it's more like a mix between a Cliff Notes digital textbook and an interactive exercise. Overall, I was just really impressed with the level of grammar and cultural insights that the Rocket courses provide, as well as how the company integrates this material into their lessons. Okay, pro number four. I found the Rocket language lessons to be more engaging and stimulating than the lessons from Rosetta Stone. With Rosetta, the matching words and phrases to pictures exercises can just become a little boring and repetitive. I wish they included a little more variety within their lessons. Whereas Rocket excels in this area in my opinion. They deliver their language instruction in a multitude of ways. There's interactive audio lessons that urge you to participate, informative quick-hit grammar and culture lessons, and an array of reinforcement drills that span flashcards, speaking exercises, writing practice, and quizzes to ensure you're grasping the material. So overall, if you're looking for diversity, Rocket Languages is the way to go. Okay, pro number five in favor of Rocket. I like that their lessons include English directions, translations, and explanations. This is in comparison to Rosetta Stone, who is more of a believer in immersion, meaning very limited use of English within their lessons. But in my experience, I've found that the use of English can definitely be helpful. Let's face it, in today's internet age, we're all used to having the answers to everything in the palm of our hands if we ever get stuck. Don't get me wrong, I can see the merit in Rosetta Stone's immersion argument. Of course, you're probably going to learn quicker if your feet are held to the fire. But I also think that sort of approach can lead to frustration. So ultimately, I appreciate Rocket's use of English to help the lessons stay moving and keep users from pulling their hair out if they ever get stuck at a particular phrase or sentence. Alright, last up here, pro number 6. I like that Rocket tries to gamify your language learning experience. So as you complete lessons and drills, you earn points. And then there's a leaderboard where you can keep track of your streaks and compare your progress and performance against other Rocket language users to keep yourself motivated and inspired. And then in addition to the points leaderboard, Rocket also offers certification tests. So as you complete each module, you can choose to take a test based on the widely accepted CEFR framework. And if you score at least 80%, you'll receive a printable certificate of achievement, which I know in the grand scheme of things doesn't really mean much, but when you're trying to learn a new language, every milestone and achievement is a big boost for morale. So overall, I like that the Rocket program offers tools and games to keep you energized and encouraged. Okay, so let's flip the script now and cover the major pros in favor of Rosetta Stone. Number 1. Given their lessons are so image-heavy, Rosetta Stone is the better choice for visual learners. With Rocket, besides the small amount of images used in their language and culture lessons, there's really not a ton of visuals throughout their courses, which may be problematic for some types of people out there. You know, there's certain people who learn best by seeing images and visuals and associating them with the words and phrases they hear. It's just how some people soak up and retain new words. But really, this all comes down to personal preference. For some, this might not be a big deal at all. But for others who learn best through imagery and visuals, maybe you're not the best when it comes to reading or writing, well then in that case, Rosetta Stone has the leg up. Okay, pro number 2. The Rosetta Stone digital platform and mobile app are just a little more sleek and eye-catching than Rocket Languages. Now don't get me wrong, both companies' apps and web-based platforms function great. They're intuitively laid out, easy to navigate, fast, and offer everything you would need. But at the end of the day, the Rocket Languages user interface just isn't as sexy as Rosetta Stone's. The Rocket digital platform sort of looks and feels like a 10-year-old website. But to be fair here, I'm not really sure how big of a deal this truly is. After all, you're there to learn a new language. Who cares whether their apps and website function like the latest and greatest social media phenomenon? To some, it may matter. Again, it just boils down to personal preference. Okay, number 3. Rosetta Stone covers more languages and variations of languages than Rocket. Both companies, of course, offer the popular programs like Spanish, French, Italian, German, Chinese, etc. But when it comes to some of the other less popular options out there like Swedish, Dutch, or Turkish, Rosetta Stone is the clear winner. In total, Rosetta Stone covers around 25 languages, whereas Rocket covers just around 15. Plus, for certain languages, Rosetta Stone even covers different specialty variations and dialects. For example, in addition to Latin American Spanish, Rosetta Stone also offers Castilian Spanish, whereas Rocket does not. So overall, key takeaway here, if you're looking to learn a lesser known language or a variation of a popular language, Rosetta Stone is likely your answer. Okay, last up here, pro number 4, is that Rosetta Stone offers live coaching to its customers. Now to be clear, you do have to pay extra. This isn't included in their standard subscription packages and it can get a little pricey. But still, there's often no better way to learn a new language than through one-on-one coaching or tutoring. And the nice thing about going through Rosetta Stone is that their coaches work in tandem with the core lessons and what skill level you're currently at. So you're sort of getting customized coaching sessions. The coaches help you to perfect your pronunciation, provide clarity around grammar rules, and perhaps most importantly, offer encouragement so you can stay motivated. Overall, it's just a very valuable service that you should consider taking advantage of, that is, if you have the extra funds. And that about does it for the detail in this comparison. So let's get to the final verdict. Should you choose Rocket Languages or Rosetta Stone? Well, after testing each program, I think Rocket Languages is the clear winner here. I just think Rocket offers the more complete and effective language learning courses from top to bottom in my opinion. Yes, Rocket is more expensive, and sure, maybe they don't cover as many languages and their website and mobile appearance are a little dated, but I still think Rocket is the way to go. Ultimately, I just think Rocket's lessons are more robust and diverse, and I like how they design their audio lessons within the context of actual native conversations, whereas the Rosetta Stone lessons can just become a little repetitive and boring. Plus, Rocket is head and shoulders above Rosetta when it comes to grammar instruction and cultural insights, and I just appreciate that Rocket includes English directions, translations, and explanations to keep the lessons moving and combat any building frustration. So overall, if I had to pick one, I just think Rocket is the better choice to obtain an intermediate understanding of a new language. And that's all I have for you. I hope this video has been helpful and you learned a little something. If so, make sure to return the favor by subscribing to our channel, liking this video, and dropping us a quick comment below. That'd be appreciated. And if you want to learn more about Rosetta Stone or Rocket Languages, or again, see that full detailed written comparison that I mentioned earlier in the video, jump on over to our website, testprepinsight.com, where we have a ton of great content. Or check out the other videos on our YouTube channel. We have a bunch of great vids out there. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching, best of luck, and we'll see you in the next one.